President Sisi announces adoption of Egyptian plan for Gaza reconstruction at extraordinary Arab summit. Palestinian President Abbas welcomes Egyptian plan for Gaza reconstruction. And President Trump announces the launch of the most sweeping border and immigration crackdown in U.S. history. It's 10 a.m. Cairo local time and you're watching Qnews. We begin today's bulletin with the latest developments in Gaza. Egypt's President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi has announced that the Extraordinary Arab Summit adopted an Egyptian plan for the reconstruction of Gaza, held upon the request of the State of Palestine. President Sisi chaired the Extraordinary Arab Summit dedicated to discussing developments pertinent to the Palestinian cause and means to support the Palestinian people. The plan aims to counter President Donald Trump's proposals for a Middle East Riviera by presenting a scheme for rebuilding the Strip without displacing its population. At the Emergency Arab Summit in Cairo, Palestine outlined key priorities for peace, governance and reconstruction, emphasizing national unity, a two-state solution and a long-term truce. Palestinian President Mahmoud Abbas has welcomed the Egyptian plan to rebuild the Gaza Strip. Abbas urged the U.S. President Donald Trump to support such a plan that would not involve displacing Palestinian residents of the enclave. Abbas also said he was ready to hold presidential and parliamentary elections if circumstances allow, adding his Palestinian Authority was the only legitimate governing and military force in the Palestinian territories. Jordan King Abdullah II has reaffirmed that the two-state solution is the only path to a just and comprehensive peace, ensuring the establishment of an independent Palestinian state with East Jerusalem as its capital. King Abdullah called for de-escalation in the West Bank, particularly during Ramadan, warning against extremist provocations. He also emphasized Jordan's commitment to supporting Palestinians and providing aid to Gaza, while rejecting Israel's blockade of humanitarian assistance, calling it a violation of the international law. United Nations Secretary General Antonio Guterres has expressed his support for an Arab-led initiative to mobilize international backing for the reconstruction of the Gaza Strip. Guterres also called for the immediate resumption of ceasefire negotiations in Gaza alongside the release of all Israeli detainees held by Hamas and the release of Palestinian detainees as outlined in the terms of the agreement. Tunisian Foreign Minister Mohammed Ali Nafti has reaffirmed Tunisia's rejection of plans to displace Palestinians, emphasizing Arab solidarity in confronting such challenges. He voiced Tunisia's support for Egypt, Jordan and Saudi Arabia in resisting displacement efforts. Nafti stressed the need for a clear political vision to resolve the Palestinian issue and reiterated Tunisia's call for an independent Palestinian state. Algerian Foreign Minister Ahmed Attaf has reaffirmed Algeria's strong rejection to any plans displacing Palestinians or separating Gaza from the rest of the Palestinian territories. Speaking at the Emergency Arab Summit in Cairo, Attaf stressed the need to support a ceasefire, rebuild Gaza, and push for a just permanent solution through the establishment of a Palestinian state. Saudi Foreign Minister Prince Faisal bin Farhan has reaffirmed the kingdom's firm stance against any infringement of Palestinian rights or efforts to displace them. Faisal bin Farhan stressed the legitimate right of the Palestinian people to establish their independent state and the need to provide the necessary guarantees to sustain the ceasefire in Gaza. Omani Foreign Minister Badr al-Busaydi has reaffirmed Oman's firm rejection of any plans to displace the people of Gaza under any pretext. Speaking at the Emergency Arab Summit in Cairo, al-Busaydi condemned Israel's daily violations of ceasefire agreements and its obstruction of humanitarian aid deliveries to Gaza. Lebanese President Joseph Aoun has reaffirmed that true peace cannot be achieved without the establishment of a Palestinian state and the restoration of its legitimate rights. Speaking at the Emergency Arab Summit in Cairo, Aoun emphasized the need for strong Arab support for Palestine and active engagement with global decision makers to keep the Palestinian cause on the international agenda. He also reiterated Lebanon's commitment to defending its own borders and supporting all Arab efforts to uphold Palestinian rights. Comoros President Ghazali Osman has condemned Israeli aggression in Gaza and expressed full solidarity with the Palestinian people during the Emergency Arab Summit in Cairo. Osman emphasized the need to fully implement the ceasefire agreement and welcomed Egypt's plan for Gaza's reconstruction. He reaffirmed the Palestinian people's right to an independent state and strongly rejected any forced displacement policies. The Gulf Cooperation Council, the GCC, Secretary General Jasser Mohammed al-Badawi has reaffirmed the firm Arab stance against the displacement of Palestinians from their land. Speaking at the Emergency Arab Summit in Cairo, al-Badawi called for the implementation of the Arab Peace Initiative and a just, lasting resolution to the Palestinian issue. He also stressed the urgent need to lift the Israeli siege on Gaza, open all crossings, and ensure delivery of humanitarian aid. The Organization of Islamic Cooperation, the OIC, has reaffirmed its support for the for Palestine's accession as the full member of the United Nations. Speaking at the Emergency Arab Summit in Cairo, OIC Secretary General Hossein Ibrahim Taha condemned efforts to displace Palestinians and dismantle UNRWA, stressing the need to end Israeli occupation and uphold the two-state solution. He also called for stronger solidarity in defending Palestinian rights and thanked Egypt for hosting the summit. European Council President Antonio Costa has expressed hope for ending Palestinian suffering and reaffirmed the EU's commitment to achieving peace in the Middle East through the two-state solution. Speaking at the Emergency Arab Summit in Cairo, Costa rejected any attempts to alter Gaza's demographic makeup and emphasized the need for a comprehensive resolution to end hostilities. He also praised Egyptian and Qatari efforts to secure a ceasefire and reiterated the EU's support for the Palestinian Authority's reform agenda and Gaza's full reconstruction. Somali Prime Minister Hamza Abdi Barre has reaffirmed his country's support for the Egyptian plan to rebuild the Gaza Strip and condemned any attempts to displace Palestinians, calling it a violation of international law. Speaking at the Emergency Arab Summit in Cairo, Barre emphasized the need for regional cooperation to tackle ongoing challenges. He also voiced Somali's support for Sudan's security and stability while highlighting his country's commitment to combating terrorism as a barrier to peace. Hamas has welcomed the Arab Summit's statement on building Palestinian national institutions, calling the summit an important step in aligning Arab and Islamic support for the Palestinian cause. In a statement, Hamas praised the Arab leaders for rejecting Israeli displacement and settlement plans, reaffirming Palestinian rights to freedom and self-determination. Hamas also backed the Arab Summit's $53 billion Gaza reconstruction plan and Egypt's initiative for an international rebuilding conference. The movement emphasized the importance of Arab unity in countering Israeli aggression and supported the formation of a committee to oversee aid and reconstruction in Gaza. Egypt's foreign minister has stated that the individuals who will lead the committee managing the Gaza enclave for 6 months have been decided. Egyptian Foreign Minister Badr Abdulati said the committee would oversee humanitarian aid and temporarily manage Gaza, preparing for the Palestinian Authority's return. Arab leaders backed Egypt's $53 billion Gaza reconstruction plan, rejecting Trump's Middle East Riviera vision. Palestinian Prime Minister Mohammed Mustafa has stated that the final declaration of the Cairo summit covered all dimensions of the Palestinian issue, with efforts underway to implement the Gaza reconstruction plan. Mustafa emphasized the need to unify Gaza and the West Bank and strengthen Palestinian national ranks. He highlighted plans to activate Palestinian Authority institutions and ensure the reconstruction process follows a structured governance system. Arab League Secretary General Ahmed Abul Gheit has announced that the Cairo summit reaffirmed Arab unity against Palestinian displacement and fully endorsed Egypt's $53 billion Gaza reconstruction plan. Abul Gheit emphasized that the plan provides a flexible framework for Gaza's security and political future. The final statement prioritized a ceasefire, supports international peacekeeping forces in Gaza and the West Bank, and upholds peace as the Arab world's strategic choice. The Arab Summit has sought a comprehensive approach to Gaza reconstruction, prioritizing Palestinian rights and stability. Now we move on to the latest developments in the United States.
Donald Trump is his name, and he's there to stay.
As unlikely, impossible is now reality.
We will make America powerful. We will win, win, win. And we will make America great again. Let's do our terrorists. We will very quickly make America great again.
U.S. President Donald Trump has said that his administration launched the most sweeping border and immigration crackdown in American history during his speech to a joint session of Congress.
Within hours of taking the oath of office, I declared a national emergency on our southern border, and I deployed the U.S. military and Border Patrol to repel the invasion of our country. And what a job they've done. As a result, illegal border crossings last month were by far the lowest ever recorded, ever.
U.S. President Donald Trump has announced that he received a letter from Ukrainian President Vladimir Zelensky expressing Ukraine's readiness to negotiate an end to the Russia-Ukraine conflict. Trump, speaking before Congress, said Ukraine was willing to come to the table for talks aimed at achieving lasting peace. He also stated that Ukraine was prepared to sign a rare earth mineral deal. The announcement follows a breakdown in talks between Trump and Zelensky at the White House on February 28th, which ended in tense exchanges. A day later, Trump paused all U.S. military aid to Ukraine.
Regarding the agreement on minerals and security, Ukraine is ready to sign it at any time.
U.S. President Donald Trump has asked Congress to fund a state-of-the-art Golden Dome missile defense shield. Trump said his focus is on building the most powerful military of the future. He added, as a first step, he is asking Congress to fund a state-of-the-art Golden Dome missile defense shield to protect country, all made in the USA.
Golden Dome missile defense shield to protect our homeland, all made in the USA.
U.S. President Donald Trump has vowed to plant the American flag on Mars in his address to Congress. Trump took a victory lap in an address to Congress, drawing catcalls and interruptions from some Democratic lawmakers who held up signs and walked out mid-speech in protest. The primetime speech, his first to Congress since taking office on January 20th, capped a second day of market turmoil after he imposed new tariffs against Mexico, Canada, and China.
We are going to conquer the vast frontiers of science, and we are going to lead humanity into space and plant the American flag on the planet Mars and even far beyond.
President Donald Trump has called on U.S. lawmakers to repeal the 2022 CHIPS and Science Act, a landmark bipartisan law that provides $52.7 billion in subsidies for semiconductor manufacturing and production. Speaking to Congress, Trump criticized the legislation as a horrible thing and suggested redirecting the funds to reduce the national debt. Trump argued that the subsidies are unnecessary instead. Trump proposed that avoiding new tariffs would be sufficient to encourage semiconductor companies to build factories in the United States, dismissing the need for government grants. Mexican President Claudia Sheinbaum has announced that Mexico will unveil retaliatory tariffs against the United States on Sunday, condemning the U.S. tariff hike as unjustified. Sheinbaum, who had previously called for temperance, serenity and patience ahead of the tariff enforcement, reaffirmed that Mexico would not tolerate subordination or foreign intervention. She also accused Washington of violating the United States-Mexico-Canada agreement and rejected White House claims linking her government to organized crime, calling them offensive and baseless. That brings us to the end of our news bulletin. Here is what we've been covering. President Sisi announces adoption of Egyptian plan for Gaza reconstruction at the Extraordinary Arab Summit. Palestinian President Abbas welcomes the Egyptian plan for Gaza reconstruction. And President Trump announces the launch of the most sweeping border and immigration crackdown in U.S. history. This concludes our news bulletin for the hour. Don't forget to follow Q News on YouTube, Facebook, X, Instagram, and TikTok at Q News EGY to stay informed. Many thanks for watching and stay tuned for more updates on Q News.